Welcome back to the GSTL with Tasteless and Wolf. We're going to have a brief little interview here with
정말 많은 분들의 관심이
and the
쏠려
MVP
있습니다.
coach.
이곳 현장에도 굉장히 많은 분들이 찾아주셨는데요. 감사드립니다. 자, 이쯤에서 양팀 감독을 만나서 이야기를 나눠보도록 할게요. 자, 먼저 최윤성 감독님, 안녕하세요. 네, 시즌 첫 경기 기분 좋게 1대0으로 앞서가고 있습니다.
예.
GSTL 전적이 전무했던 권태훈 선수 아주 잘해줬어요. 예상하신 건가요?
많은 분들이 박수호 선수와 탁현승 선수에 가려져서 권태현 선수가 저평가되고 있었던 것 같아요. 거의 한 달 넘게 레더 1등도 유지했고.
Everybody knows about DRG and Monster in our team, but not many people know about Sniper. He's really good, and the team practices really hard. And he's very confident coming. And he was very confident coming out as the first player.
네, 자 그리고 김태형 감독님 안녕하세요.
네, 안녕하세요.
네, 1세트 아쉽게 패하셨는데 하지만 오늘 경기 쉽게 끝나지 않으리라 믿습니다. 자, 권태훈 선수 상대로 최지원 선수를 내보내신 특별한 이유가 있다면요?
뭐 일단은 요즘 저구가 강세이다 보니까 저저전보다는 첫 번째 세트를 저희가 이제 실패를 했기 때문에 이제 프로토스로 한번 해보는 건데요. 저희 이제 정종범 선수가 사실 얼마 전에
Because Zerg players are so strong these days, they didn't want to send out another Zerg.
데이트를 안 나가고 열심히
They're trying out their Protoss player next.
여자친구가 나오지
That's why they're
말라고까지
trying to
했었는데 아마 여자친구가 가장 좀 서운해하지 않을까 싶은데요. 다음에 또 한번 기회가 있으니까 걱정 안 했으면 좋겠어요.
네, 알겠습니다. 자, 두 팀이
Mia's
오늘
girlfriend
세
came
번째
today.
만남입니다. 하지만 앞서 두
She
경기
thinks girlfriend might be disappointed.
까지 가는
Mia
적절을
lost the first
벌였었는데요.
match.
그때마다 항상 대상은 문성원, 박수호 선수였단 말이죠. 오늘 경기 어떻게 될 거라고 예상하시나요?
뭐 같은 구도일 수도 있고 항상 스타는 새롭게 태어나는 법이니까 뭐 다른 선수가 나올 수도 있겠죠.
아직 모르겠죠.
그렇죠.
네. 자, 최윤성 감독님 오늘 경기
Last time
어떻게
they faced
전개되리라고
MVP,
예상하십니까?
they went to the final set and MVP and DRG
풀 테스트를 가니까요.
with the final set, but today they think
문성원 대
they
박수
have new and better players than MVPs, so
네,
or
두
then better
감독님이
than
아주
MMA, so their
준비를
ace might not be out
펼쳐오신
today.
것 같은데요. 자, 언제라도 우승을 할 수 있는 두 팀입니다. 마지막으로 2라운드 각오 한마디 들어볼게요. 먼저 최윤성 감독님.
2라운드에 직행을 해서 그런지 오히려 경기력 면에서는 지난 시즌부터 이번 시즌부터 너무 기다림에 지치는 것 같아요.
네.
그래서 더 준비 더 열심히
Because
해서
Team MVP was seeded into the second round, it's their first match in GSTL.
네, 아직
So their players didn't really have time to
보여줄 선수가 많습니다.
네,
play in
알겠습니다.
GSTL this
김태형
season.
감독님은요?
네, 한 걸음에 성큼 다가서서 가서 기다리는 것도 좋지만 단계별로 밟아서 올라가는 것도 나름의 결과가 있기 때문에 저는 뭐 오늘 설령 진다고 해도 상관없습니다.
네, 여유가 넘치시네요.
네.
자, 멋진 승부 저도
So even though
기대하도록
Slayers lost the
하겠습니다.
first game today, they still have another
여기까지
chance to
팀을
go to the next round. So they're not
잠시 후
really
인터뷰로 다시 찾아오도록 하겠습니다.
trying too hard to win today.
Basically,
Barely made it through that one.
if they lose today, they're not totally out of the tournament. So, like, I don't know. That's kind of a weird statement to make. We're not really trying that hard today, but that's I mean, that's pretty weird.
We're only using 30% of our powers today.
Yeah,
because we wouldn't want to completely obliterate the other team.
I think maybe what she means to say is that, like, if we lose today, we're not going to be heartbroken because we know we have another chance. Like, obviously, this is going to be the tougher of the two teams they have to face. I mean, it's MVP, of course. This is not the team you want to face any day of the week. But
MVP is good. You know, it is good to see that Slayers is going to bring out some of their newer players early on. Thorzan, don't touch that. You know, this thing's actually not like locked down, so sometimes people run by here,
it's
and
not
it's
entirely
I feel like
stable,
I'm on a
man.
boat rocking back and forth. No, but you know, it's good to see they're bringing out some of their newer players.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what Crank has to offer.
Yeah, some of the Slayers players are saying that this guy is unstoppable PvZ.
Yes.
They don't want to send another Zerg out, as Jessica said. Great choice by them. They saved JYP for later.
Yeah, I mean, they send out too many, Zergs in a row, and they're going to get sniped.
Yeah.
You know.
That's the thing also is to think about that their opponents probably going to send multiple Zergs out. For example, Dongrygu, they know they're going to have to face him eventually. So they don't want to pull JYP out now because they may want to use him later against Dongrygu as a sniper. So
no, I expect this to be like any epic movie where we're not going to see the most epic battles until the end. We're not going to see DRG. He'll probably be last. They have to use him. MMA or Liang probably last. I think actually Liang right now is looking best out of everybody on Team Slayers.
Yeah, right now I would say so too. You know, MMA has always been a top-notch player, but as of late, he just has not seemed as dominant. When Ryung played in his Code S group, you can see a lot of practice there. That's another thing about the difference between Team League and Individual League. Some people are like, oh, it's just strange that this guy plays well in the Individual League, but he doesn't play well in Team League. I'm like, well, guys, that's because he had 2 weeks to prepare for those matches.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas these guys kind of show up here, and it's like, well,
you have no idea who you're going to face.
Yeah, it's going to be who's well-rounded and who's suited for the situation. So it's time for game number 2. We're going to have Sniper up against Crank here at the GSTL. I wonder if this map is actually just another building next to like Metropolis. You know what I mean?
Probably, man.
All these city maps is actually just taking place on top of a giant building if you pan out. In the bottom center starting location, we have a great player and also the name of a very dirty illegal substance. He is
Slayers Crank.
Just say no, guys.
Slayers couldn't say no.
I don't know much about Crank. It's the best I can do for an intro. Sorry. All right. In the center right starting location, we have our player from the team MVP winning the first game. Can he keep it going? He is
MVP Sniper.
There he is.
There he is, guys. Take it all in.
Looking calm and collected in this booth right now.
He always looks sleepy when he plays, but then when you look at actually, how much he's executing, he's clearly very awake.
Yeah, he's very awake, I would say. Doesn't look nervous at all. Now this, of course, probe will force the pool to be placed before hatchery, no matter what. He's even going to force some lost mining time. I like that. Mineral harassment. This is a really tough map for Zerg. This is why Crank has chosen it. And again, I really feel they want to save Entombed Valley for another Zerg later, just like they want to save perhaps JYP. But the reason why we see this map, it may be that Crank wants to go for a sentry drop build. They are now at close air position, so he can do that. May also be that he wants to hit a very specific timing attack at the third base with Immortals and Sentries. He could do that very common 4-gateway Zealot pressure with +1. He's got so many different builds he can do on this map. This is a tough map for Zerg to hold a third base on.
It is. The third base is pretty removed. I mean, you're pretty far away, so that's one thing that you have going for you. Now, as you guys can see here, apparently Slayers has produced some pretty solid results on this map.
Something else to note is that on this map, we saw the probe block there. Some people say on most maps the Zerg will go and take a third base instead of dealing with the probe. But on this map, the third base is so far away and it's so vulnerable that he just couldn't afford to do that. He had to just fight the probe away there, and that's why we saw that. On this map, the destructible rocks are in the way. If you look at the minimap, it's like, oh, it's not that far away, but actually with the rocks there, you have to take that super long path around the outside. It's hard to spread creep to the third. Hard to send Zerglings or Roaches over to reinforce. I mean, it is a tough third to hold as a Zerg, especially against Protoss. You can see average win rates here. When the second player loses or when it wins for Slayers. Interesting stats we see going up on the screen. But the question now is, what does Crank do? What sort of timing attack are we going to see? We may not see one, but I mean, he chose this map for a reason, and I'm sure that Sniper is expecting even some sort of two-base attack from him. And it's not even necessarily going to be an all-in, but there is going to be some sort of attack. It'd be crazy not to on this map, especially since he chose it.
All right, the cybernetic score is now going down. A lot of pressure right now on Crank. If MVP, well, I guess if Sniper wins this, MVP is in such good shape. Because remember, guys, Slayers EG has actually a pretty all-star lineup.
Yes,
I mean, they have quite an arsenal of good players that they can bring out here. But if they're forced to bring those guys out for a while, then MVP can start picking teams who will actually snipe those good individuals.
Yes.
Saying, all right, you got a sick, PVZ all-in. You might not even be the best for your team, but you know that all-in you've been doing that you always winning with? Go.
Yeah.
All right, if he doesn't, all right, next you. All right. Best macro on the team, go. Yeah, sorry,
absolutely. No, an MVP, since they have a smaller roster of players, they have to have specific snipers like that. They have to have prepared really well, whereas Slayers has so much more flexibility, as you said, with their huge lineup. And at this point, we do see that Sniper still has not mined gas. He is completely gasless right now, no Zergling speed.
I think that he does. On a map this big, it's okay to not mine that much gas. You don't. You're not going to get rushed that hard. It's okay to just go really, really, really mineral heavy. Get as many drones out as you can right away. For instance, if Protoss tries to apply some pressure and sends a Zealot out, the distance is so long that if you get too close, you can't run away.
You're right. Now, this is the most important moment for any Zerg player in this matchup, especially on this map, is he needs to scout that robotics. And the Stalker is getting into position to block him, but he's going to be slightly off, and the Overlord will absolutely see this Robo, and that will tell him everything.
And this is one of the safer PvZ builds. Get out some Observers, get out an Immortal, get that third base, and play it from there.
With the positioning of this Robo, it's going to be very telling to our Zerg sniper. He's going to know, okay, sentry drop. All right, I'm ready for this. He's going to keep his units well positioned.
Oh, you think he's going to go for a sentry drop here?
Absolutely.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I think you might be right, Wolf, because, yeah, of the positioning. That's a really good observation, yeah.
I think he's definitely going to do it. And there's the Warp Prism coming out. He's going to warp in around his sentries. His Warp Gates are almost done. Now, we've seen really technical Blink Stalker all-ins with this, but that's not what he's doing here. And it's been scouted, so he's going to have to go ASAP if he really wants to commit to this. And he knows it's been scouted too, so he may just decide to do something different with this Warp Prism at this point. He's making a lot of pylons. I think this is kind of a distraction tactic, trying to keep the Zerg's attention away from his ramp.
He doesn't want to have, exactly. He doesn't want to have any lings in the main here. All right, so let's see if he can actually pull this off.
I think he may elevator those units into the main based on how he's positioned them. And instead of doing sentries necessarily, he may just warp the sentries in.
Whoa, he's bringing a probe with that. Okay.
So that's really interesting.
This is actually really
okay, he's going to warp. He's going to make a pylon next to the high ground. Then he's going to use the vision of the Warp Prism to continue to make units. Even if he loses the Warp Prism, if he makes a pylon in the main, he can continue to reinforce. This just makes us twice as strong. Oh, he's doing such a great job.
Two different locations now. Going over here towards the main. And
he's making a photon cannon.
Oh, this is so sick!
I haven't seen this since like the Alpha, man. This is crazy. I can't believe he's going to do this.
I can't believe he's
going to make a pylon.
What?
Photon cannons using the Warp Prism and a pylon going down.
Oh
now,
my God!
He is splitting Sniper in two, man. He's killing drones on one side at the third base, taking his attention away. And look at this preemptive force field to block the roaches. He knows those are roaches coming out of there.
This strategy is so sick. I am actually getting nerd chills right now. Oh my God!
I've never seen anything like this before.
I guess
in
it
my
makes
life.
sense. Of course, you can make cannons there, but oh man, I am witnessing some esports history right now. The pool is in a vulnerable position now,
and the cannons are done. They complete, and he's got so many force fields available to him, and the Warp Prism is still alive. He can go and harass other locations. The pool is down. Back at home, Twilight Council going up, +1 armor on the way. Great force fields here. The cannons doing tons of damage, and this is unbelievable. I cannot believe that Crank has pulled this off.
This is beautiful.
This is innovation. This is history in the making right now. No one has ever done this before.
No one has ever done this before. And now he can actually warp in units over here, and you see he's going to do just that.
Oh, a great amount of damage being done here, but he will now be, thwarted, I guess you could say, pushed away. And there's no third base just yet for the Protoss, but the damage has been done. He will kill this Queen as well. More drones going down. Oh, man, this is terrible for Sniper. He's lost so much. The cannons will go down, and units lost. Actually, just slightly more cost-efficient for the Protoss, but he's still doing damage with these Zealots. Looks like he's going to actually just pick them up and leave with them.
At least one of them.
That was the lucky Zealot.
He got the lucky. He pulled the lucky number there, man.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, so let's assess the damages. Then let's just start wiggling around in excitement at the fact that how sick that strategy was. I don't know if he did enough damage there, Wolf.
Well, he's doing more now. I love what he's doing with his Zealot, just picking it up.
He's buying time, basically. Yeah.
He needs to get a third base up. He's already transitioned into Immortals. He's got +2 on the way. No blink started just yet. There it is, as I say that. 3 more gateways going up. I think with the amount of damage done, look at the resources for a Zerg. He's got 1,200 mils, 300 gas, and he just wasn't able to secure his lair at the timing he would want to. Wasn't able to put any pressure on at normal times because he was stuck in his base during the times where you would want to attack. And look at this. He's just going to continue the harassment. Oh, got to be careful, though. Not worth it to lose that many units for an Overlord. It does get them all out, though. And with the third Nexus, as soon as he gets that up, he will be in a great position, but he has to hold the next pressure.
I can't believe that strategy we just saw. And you know what's so funny? I guess it makes sense. Actually, here's what's going to happen, Wolf, is years later, people will look up this game and be like, I can't believe they didn't know that you could do that. Because this is actually going to become trendy.
Yeah.
This is actually like a great strategy. You can actually, there's so much you can do as far as porting around a probe and a warp prism to make cannons in locations.
Yeah. And it's cool because, we saw this in the beta a little bit. And, I remember when the alpha stages, one of the BlizzCons, they showed that you could do this. And I think it was David Kim was actually doing it against someone. And I remember thinking, oh, I wonder if this is too strong or if this will really work. And it never really was used in competitive play until today.
This goes to show you how much of StarCraft 2 we have not figured out yet.
Yeah.
There is so much more to this game, guys. There is so much more out there.
And it's not even, this strategy is not just like, making cannons is really strong. You have to do exactly what he did and harass with zealots on one location to draw the forces away. Otherwise, it'll never work. He did everything perfectly, and now he's in a great position to defend here. Sniper can't attack. The third Nexus is not complete. He canceled it. It looks like he wants to actually commit to an attack now. Something that he has seen has told him, wait a minute, you have been making too many drones. You've been teching too much. I'm going to kill you. And he's going for it.
He's going out. He's got Blink, by the way. As
Blink
we just
and
saw
+2.
Him all right. Now, remember, you just still have the warp prism, so you can keep warping stuff in here. By the way, Sniper's macro dwindling. And
look at his resources. He can't spend them all. He's trying to make a choice. He was going to go for mutas, it looks like, but he just couldn't.
He is maxed out here.
But the upgrades are far in the favor of our Protoss player here. Blinking his Stalkers back. Great force fields. Tearing through the Spine Crawlers already. One Zealot leading the charge. And more Stalkers coming in with Blink. It's going to be very difficult to hold, even though he's 60 supply up. He's going to have to close the distance perfectly. These Roaches, a gap in the force field is going to allow him to do just that.
Now he's doing a very good job just darting in there with the Roaches here. Now he needs to target down that Warp Prism with the Queens. It looks like he's going to get that pretty soon here. And as good as the strats are here from Sniper, from Crank, Sniper is just too good.
Yeah, he pushes these back. There was a gap in the force fields, and that's basically all this came down to. Now a pathing mistake by Crank, allowing some of his Stalkers to take the long way, getting shot there. He's making another immortal, but he canceled his Nexus. He has no transition in sight. His upgrade advantage will dwindle as his opponent gets +2 Carapace now. His +1 for his Zerglings is about to finish. He's got an Infestation Pit on the way, and a 4th hatchery is up and completed. 10 drones on the way. He's going to go to his third base to force a cancel, but there's not even a Nexus being made. That's how far behind he is with transitions.
Wow, this may be impossible to recover from. I think it actually is impossible. With Zerg on 4 base and maxed out right now, I do not see Protoss getting a third here.
I would like to know, what he saw that made him decide to go for the big attack.
I think he actually intended to do it all along. I think he made the Nexus and tried to fake him out.
Yeah.
And then hoped that the guy was going to do, something else. But yeah, man, this is actually beautiful.
Yeah, a nice transition by our Zerg player. He darted through those force fields. He just committed to the attack, cut these Stalkers off. Now there's no way for him to hold this. This game is over. The Roach is even burrowing, getting their hit points back. +2 Carapace is on the way.
Oh, he's actually just making fun of him now. He's
that's
saying, get out, man.
What he's doing.
And look, you can see in the bottom left corner of our screen here, Crank is not happy. He's actually just very frustrated. He exhibited this brilliant strategy.
I think
first time we've ever seen it in GSTL.
You're right.
And GSL even. And GG. He tipped his hand. Let me tell you something. A lot of people are going to be copying that. Get ready for the ladder to be broken with Protoss is doing that everywhere. And wow, you can really see how sad Crank is to be completely blunt about it.
I think he's sitting in that booth right now asking himself, should I have taken the third Nexus and stuck with that because I did some damage. There's no way for him to attack my third. I think he got a little bit too greedy with his attack. I know that's kind of a weird way to say it because usually when you say greedy, it implies that you're
going to get drones or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But in this case, he was like, no, I want everything. I just want to kill this. But no, he could not do that.
Okay, I have a new nerd crush, though. Crank. I haven't been this hot and bothered since Seed, man. I'm done with Seed now. It's all about Crank. No, seriously, I love that strategy. It's so funny because we didn't quite know what he was doing. I'm like, a probe. I'm like, well.
Yeah, I'm like, well, he could make just a pylon there so he can, in case he loses the prism.
Well, is this kind of like, doesn't this overlap with the theme of what a warp prism is and how you're supposed to use it? But then, when I saw the cannons, I'm wondering if you can do that with anything else with Protoss buildings. I guess I have to think. I guess not. He makes like a warp gate there in the base. We're like, what?
He makes 2 gateways and hides behind and uses it as a wall. Oh, think about that.
Think about that, man.
But that was actually just, really well executed.
There's some interesting stuff you could do, though, with that. I guess you could hide tech structures somewhere on the map. With
people have done that with Dark Shrines in the past. Make a shrine under once you start warping it, you just leave with the prism. It can still warp.
Yeah.
So we've seen that in the past. Something else to note, I really feel that we didn't touch on enough, is that we saw, well, by the way, people are getting Slayers bought these rice cakes for people, so I just want to mention that very briefly. That's why they're being handed out. But we saw his execution of the Zealot pressure to draw the forces away was beautiful. He could have used that to do a sentry drop instead. There was so many other things he could have done with the Warp Prism, but he made his choice. The cannons were beautiful. He killed the spawning pool. But, you know, his transitions after that just were not as good as they could have been. His force field micro was not the best. I really feel he could have taken the third Nexus. His tech was already building up to that.
I really wonder what you could do with sentry drops with this. Like 3 sentries and a probe.
You could do.
You know what I mean?
You
go to the ramp. You could actually make cannons at the freaking ramp, Wolf.
Yeah, you could do that.
Think about that, Wolf.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Think about that.
That could absolutely be something we see in the future.
Also, if you notice, he got the Warp Prism in fly mode, and then he, I don't know what the mode is.
Phase mode is where you can warp. Transport mode is where you can
so
fly.
he was in phase, but then he went transport, then phase again.
Yeah.
So maybe if he had actually gotten that out a little bit quicker. I also feel like it was nice when he warped with the Zealots at that other base, but I think what probably would have been better is to actually just commit everything
maybe
to the
so,
main.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Or is Zealots he used to kill drones? They didn't kill him very quickly. What if he targets the hatchery with those Zealots instead? There was some other things he could have done, but otherwise well executed. The backup, though, the backup attack was what led him astray. And JYP, they're going to bring him out right now, and that's something that was really surprising to me, in fact.
Well, I think at this point in time, Slayers has to put an end to this. They say, all right, Sniper's actually taking out too many of our guys. We are actually at a serious deficit right now.
He's getting too strong. This happens when you have a multi-kill. Some types of players, some personality types, really build off of that. Bomber, for example, I think is the best example of someone who, if he gets 2 kills in a row, if he gets that third one, man, you can kiss your team goodbye because he will not be stopped.
Well, let's see what JYP can do. JYP's play is really smart, and it's very unique, but Sniper, I would be high on life right now if I was Sniper.
I would too. I mean, absolutely. I mean, he probably didn't expect to beat 2 players. Now he's going to go, but JYP, not only has he been picked to play at PvZ, but he's picked in Tomb Valley as the map, which means they are really committing to sniping this guy. I mean, ironically, his name is Sniper, but seriously, they want to take him out right now. They're actually concerned about him. Someone who I don't think most people would have been concerned about until those 2 games.
I think their agenda right now, with JYP, is just beat Sniper, then last as long as you can.
Yes.
I don't think they're saying, all right, we need you to win the next 3 because then, they're going to bring out this Terran guy and then we can beat him in a TDT with our guy. I think it's actually, just get rid of Sniper. If he doesn't get rid of Sniper, it's going to get worse and worse and worse as Slayers is going to be in this quagmire of like, oh God, who we bring out? In what order?
Now consider what the difference between this and what Gerard did the other day for Team Prime is that he pulled Bjorn out early for a sniper type situation and Bjorn failed. But the thing is, Slayers, I feel, has a lot more backup than Prime does to pull out someone like this. Like if they pull out JYP, he is a sniper. Bjorn's not really a sniper. They pulled him out because they're like, we need someone who's really good. But if you pull JYP out and he messes up, you still have so many heavy hitters, so it's not like a desperation move.
Right. Well, no, this just seems like the natural way to carry this. I thought we were going to get this started, but looks like, okay, no, he just wanted some water.
I don't blame him.
Got to stay hydrated.
Yeah, it's really important.
Thirst is the first sign of dehydration, Wolf.
Yes. I would say that is.
Did you know that's actually that's what actually a hangover is? It's actually just dehydration.
Yeah, man.
And actually, did you know that if you
it's your Krebs cycle.
If you like stuck in a desert and you're really dehydrated and you're gonna die of dehydration, it's supposed to just be like the worst hangover you've ever had in your entire life.
In A Beautiful Mind, the imaginary character says like it's the hangover that finally kills you or something like that. Is what it would be.
I haven't seen that movie. Everybody says I should watch that.
No, absolutely watch it, man.
All right.
And if you haven't seen A Beautiful Mind out there, gotta watch it.
All right, guys, it's time for JYP against Sniper. Can JYP do it, or is Sniper going to keep on taking out these players? The map is in Tomb Valley. After we get this cool little graphic up, make sure to look for the screaming alien face in the long shot.